seminars out there, we need to give you a disclaimer. If today the information I present to you changes tomorrow because of government measures or whatever, so please don't come back and say, Thomas, you give me wrong info. Okay, so basically this at this present moment of time, it's considered current. Okay, so let's quickly dive in. I don't want to take up too much of your time. Let's quickly dive in. If you guys are wondering, since we did not answer the question, how much does a Hong Kong property cost? If you compare our most expensive per square foot compared to what Hong Kong property costs, okay? Anyone want to make a guess or not? What's the most expensive Hong Kong property you can find per square foot? Okay, Brett, 24,000 Singapore dollar or what? Oh, he's writing Singapore dollars. Do you guys think Brett is correct? Anyone got a different answer? US 20,000. Okay, US 20,000 means you're gonna work out to 30 over thousand per square foot. Wow, that's a bit expensive, isn't it? As far as Thomas knows, our most expensive is close to $7,000. Their most expensive is approximately 3 times more, $21,000 plus per square foot. Okay, I would at this juncture I will give Hong Kong a clap because they have done very well in terms of their luxurious property, isn't it? So I will tell you this. Why am I saying this? Because you will notice the people coming from Hong Kong, okay? And of course, Hong Kong, you know, it's a hinterland, right? Hinterland of China, right? So the rich itself are very exposed to this kind of price point. 5 figure per square foot is nothing new to them, okay? It's nothing new to them in the, I'm not saying in normal Hong Kong, in the luxurious sector. So this sets the background to all of us, all right, that our Singapore expensive property, we call it expensive, actually to quite a fair bit of foreigners who can afford it, okay, it's quite inexpensive relative to what they are used to be paying. Okay, so that lays the foundation in terms of the luxurious, because we're not talking about buying something in maybe your outskirts, right? We're buying something in maybe your District 9, your District 10, okay, or even some parts of District 11, also quite premium in terms of prices. So let's look at where are our foreign buyers coming from, right? So they tend to be quite focused in this area. Every time they come to Singapore, they tend to be quite focused on almost half. You see, almost half the transaction happens in the CCR. CCR, for everybody's knowledge, stands for Core Central Region, okay, which represents our most expensive property. So that's our Core Central Region here. All right, so you can see a breakdown of who are the top 10 buyers buying our Singapore property. And of course, is it any surprise that we see our dear friend here, our Chinese buyers, right? It's no surprise, right? What is surprising is geographically, this country is so far away from us, yet, okay, we are at least 13 hours away in terms of flight time, airplane flight time. But yet, that's the nearest point of Western Australia, USA. And yet, they are buying our properties, okay, as much as our neighbors. Okay, so this basically tells you USA also not too bad because they got a free trade agreement arrangement with Singapore. There are 5 countries in the world that has a free trade agreement with Singapore. When their citizens come and buy our properties in Singapore, they are given the same ABSD treatment as a Singapore would enjoy. Okay, they are still foreigners. They still cannot buy our land, but they enjoy ABSD concession in terms just like a Singaporean would pay. Like Singaporeans, all of you know, right? You buy your first residential property, you don't pay ABSD, right? Additional buyer stamp duty. You buy second one, 12%. You buy third one, 15%, isn't it? So these foreigners, and one of the countries is USA, they follow our rates, okay? The other 4 countries you want, you can always ask any of our ERA teammates. Tonight is not to teach you guys about real estate policies. Tonight is to talk about our luxurious segment. So what happened is this. When the foreigners come, let me show you the outcome of what can potentially come out. I'm doing a little bit of crystal ball. When our foreigners come, usually, like I said, almost half the transaction happens in the Core Central Region, which is an all-time favorite of their, in terms of position, in terms of their geographical location. So what happened is this. Are our foreign friends here yet? If you look at the previous slide, are they buying yet? Even though we say their top 10 countries are buying, but are they really buying in big volumes yet? Do you guys think they are buying in big volumes yet? Maybe you can type in the chat group. Yes or no? Are they buying in big volumes? That means, has the volume really increased? Has the demand really arrived in Singapore or not? Do you think so? Yes or no? Oh, nobody wants to answer. Why? This is not taking exam. You also won't get wrong. You also won't get marks deducted from you if you answer wrongly. Correct or not? All right. So when the foreign buyers come to Singapore, first stop, typically they will go for CCR first, right? Because they are the people who can afford it. Are they really here yet? Some of you are saying not yet. Kavita says no, not yet. Ken says no. Sally, no. LK, no. All right. So I'll share with you. Okay. If they really come, and the answer is not yet. Okay, because of the restrictions in the travel lanes, isn't it? In the travel lanes, right? But all of you also have read the news, right? Is it very recent? Our government is opening up. Is it recent? Yeah, you have been hearing, right? You have been hearing on Channel News Asia. I've been following the news on Channel News Asia because I'm trying to book a holiday ticket, which I cannot get. Okay, so we are having travel lanes now, vaccinated travel lane to be exact, VTLs. So this tells you if you are a local buyer, therein lies a small little window, okay, whereby you can enter the market before the demand really comes up. Okay, so because if the travel lanes are fully in action, the foreigners come. I wouldn't dare use the word guarantee but I'm pretty sure, okay, they will be pretty much looking at some of our CCR properties. Don't you think so? Okay, it's quite natural, right? It's then you see all these couple of years where we are restricting the traveling, this could potentially build up what we call a pent-up demand. A pent-up demand. It's just like you very long. Let's say you stay overseas for very long. Then if you stay in Australia, let's say for 1 year, 2 years, never come back to Singapore, right? What's the first thing you come back to Singapore? You got pent-up demand for your char kway teow, your kway chap, your chai tao kueh, right? Yeah. So this is very basic. This is pent-up demand. So the demand is always there. It's just that they can't travel. And if they are going to buy a property that's 5 million, 8 million, 10 million in terms of the property price in the CCR, right? Then that gives you the indication that if they cannot come to buy such an expensive property, they probably hold off their purchase first because they cannot see, they cannot feel it, isn't it? So therefore, this tells you there's a small window of opportunity for all of us, okay, who are situated in this particular seminar tonight. You could potentially be standing on an opportunity, okay, before our foreign friends are here. And when they are here, there could potentially be room for growth. All right. So this is the first growth factor I will tell you, the potential of it. Of course, this is me doing a little bit of crystal balling, right? Doing a little bit of prediction. Okay. It's not come to pass yet. That's why it's called a window of opportunity. All right. So this is the newspaper article that came out 30th of November, where our writer, this Leslie E, this gentleman here, is a very, very pretty objective in his writing. Okay, he's saying Singapore private homes aren't as pricey. And if you were to follow my segment right from the beginning, the first few minutes, I already highlight to you, Singapore is not expensive to the rest of the world, right? It's not expensive to the rest of the world, especially if you compare first world city to first world city like Hong Kong. Okay, so it's exactly what he's articulated. And he said this since the start. Why does he say this? He's not also pulling numbers out from the air. He's saying this since the start of this century, means year 2000, okay, for 21 years ago, household income has more than doubled. Meaning 20 years ago, if you earn $1,000, today you will be earning more than $2,000. Okay, that's basically what he's saying. All right, so even with a dip as in 2020 with the COVID situation, right, income is still rising faster than private property prices. Okay, so he basically laid the facts that, okay, our income, if your income is going this way, your property price, is basically following in tandem, meaning you can afford what you're buying. Okay, that's what he's saying. That's what this article is basically saying, without going into too much details for all of us to see. So now let's talk about the VTLs. So this is just a demonstration to show you an illustration of whether when we extend our VTL, we will have an influx of foreign buyers. And when all these foreign buyers come to Singapore's shores, I can almost, I dare not say the word guarantee, but I can pretty much tell you, okay, the demand will return quite quickly. Demand for what? Demand for our properties in Singapore, okay, will almost certainly have an impact, okay, in terms of demand. Is it across the board? Possibly, okay, possibly across the board, okay, depending on the person's capabilities in terms of finances, right? But remember, just now I mentioned already, what's the first stop they typically go to? They typically go and visit all the CCR projects first, to look at some of the information. So these are again, the travel lanes that has been implemented recently. And I'm pretty sure these countries are quite familiar to all of us already. Okay, so you can see our let me change color. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 5 top buyers. 4 of them have got VTLs already. Okay, with the exception of China. China is still in Cat 1. Okay, Cat 1 means you must do PCR when you come to Singapore. Like my friend, last week, a couple of friends came from Hong Kong. What they do is they arrive at Singapore at 11 p.m. Straight away, they go to hotel, right? Like a quarantine, but they are from Cat 1 country, okay, China. So what do they do? They take a PCR and they wait for the results, okay? The result says it should be out in 48 hours. But by 3 a.m., 11 p.m., they took the results, the PCR. By 3 a.m., they already got the results and say, okay, you are negative, you are free to travel all over Singapore. That's basically how efficient we are in terms of the Cat 1 countries. I mean, just to give you some information. Okay, then, of course, our favorite country, Malaysia, right? And of course, Singapore. Now we can go, but all of you know, right? You can fly there. Land, you still need to take bus. You cannot drive in yet. So let's wait for it to open further before we do that. What's important is this. Okay, if you look at the previous slide, oops, look at my previous slide. See, Malaysia is our number 2 in terms of demand. Okay, so therefore, it is quite critical for us to do business with Malaysia, not just for property purpose. It's also for tourism. It's also for hotels. It's also for all other types of businesses out there. Okay, and many of you probably will have businesses. Some of you may have businesses in KL, Penang, JB, right? You may have offices there and you probably need to travel, right? So therefore, it is quite critical for you to operate in Malaysia. So let's quickly go through, because tonight we have 2 segments, right? My segment talk about macroeconomic factors. How do you pick out and select a luxurious property? And then the second segment would be Terence coming in to share you on a particular project. So now this first thing we want to know is every time you pick up a property itself, okay? Oops. You may be picking up a luxury property. You may be picking out a condo in the outskirts. You may be picking out a landed property in the outskirts or even in town area, or even picking out a Sentosa property. What you need to always analyze is when you enter, what are you entering into? And while you are owning the property, what is the holding power of that particular property, right? While you're holding on to it, are there benefits for you or not? You can enter. Anybody can buy property, right? Yeah, but it's not always the case. You can hold on to the property for the period time frame that you want, isn't it? Okay, so sometimes information different, sometimes situation may change, so then it becomes dynamic. Then you may have to let go of property at a certain period, and it may be against your timeline that you plan for, right? So important thing is, do you have the holding power or not? And when we say holding power means this: if you buy the property not to stay, obviously you buy it to rent it out, right? Can you rent out easily or not? Even though it's a luxe property, it's a luxurious property, can you find tenants easily or not? And I'll give you some pointers to think about. Then more importantly is this. I know how to buy the property. That's the easy part, isn't it? I know the property can rent out easily. That's the holding part. Can I exit or not in future? And when I exit, got capital gain or not? Let's look, okay? Let's look at some examples to share with us. So let's first thing examine, how do you choose a good product or not? Whether the property good or no good, let's learn how to choose, okay? This is a little bit educational idea. I show you what has happened for our luxurious property in a 5-year, because I think property tends to be mid to long-term investment. If you think that by buying property now, next year you want to make money, a little bit challenging, because your profits will most likely, even with the pricing move, you will sell within 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, your profits would likely be wiped off by this thing called seller stamp duty. Heard about it? Okay. So seller stamp duty, if you sell in first year 12%, second year 8%, third year 4%, right? It will likely wipe out all your profits. So therefore, the horizon of holding a property cannot be within 3 years on. Okay, so we are not talking about very, very short-term investment. We are talking about mid-term, 5 years, maybe longer term, 10 years. I'll give you a comparison. If you look at our CCR, our last segment, which contains 9, 10, 11, I just compare the neighboring estate. Okay, I think it's too tedious to go and compare Sentosa and all that already. So let's compare 9, 10, and 11 because proximate to one another. They are right beside one another in terms of district. So you can see our district 9 has grown 25% from 5 years ago to 5 years later, right? Followed by 38% in District 10. District 10 tends to represent your Nasim, your Bukit Timah area. Okay, then of course, we see 30% in District 11. Not too bad. Everybody enjoy healthy returns, right? What happens if it's over a period of 10 years of assessment? 10 years means 2021 is now, right? Let's move back 10 years, 2011, right? What happens in 10 years? Is it the same type of gains that I get? So same thing, if you look at District 9, 10, and 11, 25%, 41%, as well as 32%. So the behavior is pretty much the same. Okay, so this tells you if you got to choose a district, which district do you think you should, if you only choosing between 9, 10, and 11? You think about it, you look at the performance, which district actually gives you the best capital gains over a period of 5 or 10 years. Okay, I think the number speaks for itself. You don't need to answer this. You guys probably will know the answer. Okay, you all know, right? Relative, right? 25%, 41% versus 32%. Which one is higher? You go and think for yourself. Okay, that's basically what I want to share with you guys. The other thing you want to consider when picking out a product, especially in our Lux segment. Okay, I'm not talking about any other type of this segment. Only for luxury property, your developer is quite important. Okay, let me show you. Let me show you these 3 photos. These 3 photos. Anyone can name where is this place? The first one. Anyone can name where is this particular photo? Where is this place? Hey, nobody wants to answer me. Wow, very sad. You're not engaging. Thomas is very sad. You're not engaging me. Where do you think this photo represents? Which area are we talking about? Which project? Yes, there we go. Suiwan is saying this one is our dear. Where? The mark built by who? Any idea? What is the developer? The mark. All right, it's along Patterson Road. You're absolutely right. Okay, so this is called the mark. Okay, the developer is called SC Global. Okay, center, this one. Let's engage. Center is say, who will be the person in the middle? What project is it called? Dun, 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 dun. No prize for getting it right, but I will give you a clap if you get it right. Oh, yes, correct. Our friends got it right. Park Nova. Yes, but important thing is Park Nova built by who? Do you know? Wow, very good, Brad. Wow. Okay, Shuntak. Okay, Shuntak come from which country? You see the name roughly, you know where they come from. Okay, yeah, Hong Kong, Macau side, right? So you can see these developers have experience building okay, very expensive property in Hong Kong itself. Okay, so that means when you buy from such developers, they have experience building for very expensive properties, means they have experience building very large property. That's all I'm saying. Okay, in terms of last one, I don't want to hide from you guys. Last one, you guess what? Last one starts with B. Boulevard. Okay, 88 by CDL. So basically, CDL, of course, have built luxurious mid-end as well as the entry-level properties. But CDL is a very well-known brand in Singapore, and CDL has delivered Relatively good quality projects. Okay, I'm not saying other developers are no good. All developers are good developers. Okay, all I'm saying is this. When you look at the developer, you do need to consider their track record. Have they done Lux property before? Okay, and whether they know. Because when you go into a property, you know, sometimes when you drive into the property, the driveway itself, the security guard there, where you're driving in, already gives you a very good feel already. Okay, the vibes are very positive, right? That this is a very grand estate, isn't it? Then you go to car park, also feel different. You go to swimming pool, wow, also feels a little bit more grander. Okay, then you feel the grandeur feeling, isn't it? So that's generally what it means when they know and they are experienced, they deliver the product accordingly. Okay, to give you the Lux feel. I just want to give an example. All right, I don't have a whole lot of time to do a lot of research, but this is our district number 10. Okay, and district 10, 20 years ago, they sell already 1,006 in district 10 Cascaden area. And you must understand, why am I showing you this? This is to tell you certain types of project when it's Lux in nature. At that point of time, every other condo out there is selling 20 years ago about $1,000 in the luxurious segment. Okay, but our dear friend CDL price it at 50% premium. Means everybody sell 1,000, I sell 1,500. Okay, everybody sell 1,000, I sell 1,500. But if you look, even up to today, okay, they are still enjoying quite healthy gains in terms of their meaning the luxurious segment, the property prices will hold itself and present it as a good investment over a longer period of time. Okay, meaning that they can hold the value. The value preservation, the wealth preservation is quite strong. Okay, when it comes to Lux property. That's all. That's what I'm saying. Like I said, luxurious property, those of you who are inside this particular chat room, inside this seminar itself, you guys are thinking of whether you should hold on to a luxurious property. The short answer is yes. The short answer is yes. Okay, then you'll be asking yourself, but that yes, if I buy a luxurious property, district 9, 10, 11, which one presents a better growth? Just now I already showed you the data, right? Okay, and if you have been paying attention just now, okay, you probably would know which district you should be focusing on. Okay, which presents the best possible route for you to make capital gain. Okay, and make the most gain. All three make gains, right? District 9, 10, and 11. But which one gives you relatively better gain? So you think about it. Now, that was the entry. Now we look at holding. When it comes to holding, it is more important. You go and buy property, then you must be able, number one, to find tenants. Number two, the tenant must pay you good rates, right? So that you can sustain your mortgage, isn't it? So how do you make sure that your property, the rentability is there, right? Okay, let's see. Okay, in terms of our Lux property. So now, one of the key things you want to take note of is schools. Near good school or not? Because if you go to buy a property, let's say in Orchard area, Orchard got nearby got good school or not? I know Orchard nearby got good shopping mall, but nearby got good school or not? So you can see, if you want to rent it out, there must be a purpose, right? The tenant must be there, isn't it? Yeah. So in Orchard Road itself, we don't have that many surrounding good schools around. But let me ask a different area, and you guys tell me. Bukit Timah got good school or not? Bukit Timah. Can you name some schools along Bukit Timah Road? Bukit Timah 有没有? Okay. ACS, RGS, MGS, Hwa Yeah. So you can see Bukit Timah. Okay. That's why in Bukit Timah area, you probably find better rental yield, because it comes from who? People who want to get their children into that particular school, or their children are very smart already, right? Okay, then they are already studying nearby, so they will get themselves into these areas in terms of. So you can see the vibrancy is there. Where the schools are there, where the schools are around, the vibrancy will be there. Okay. The other thing you want to take note of is this, the density of the area, because density plays a part. And I'll give you a very quick study on density and its impact on rentals. Okay, so before that, show you the top 20 schools. This one, parents inside this chat group, inside this seminar will be very interested to know. These are the 20 top primary schools in Singapore. Because why is this important? Because if you buy something that is nearby or walking distance, okay, to these schools itself, the rental is almost Again, I don't like to use the word guaranteed, but the rental is pretty much ongoing, okay, because of the demand coming from the parents who are trying to get their kids into this prestigious school, if you like, okay? Or I cannot use the word elite school, but prestigious school. All right, so here we talk about Anglo-Chinese. Just now, some of you were talking about what other schools are there? Some of you were talking about SCGS, yeah, your Nanyang, okay? So these are schools, top 20 primary schools in Singapore, ACS more on them. So I'll show you this, give you a sample, give you a case study. I use Anglo-Chinese primary school. And then I circle things that is 500 meters away. I pick out the condo that's 500 meters away. And then I pick out a condo that is more than 500 meters, but less than 1 kilometer, meaning still got chance to go inside this school. Still got chance to go inside the ACS primary school itself. Then let's look at the rental. Let's look at the rental rates that come with it. Okay, so you can see those that is within 500, I circle for you now in red. And those that is outside 500, I'll circle for you in black. Okay, or dark blue. So you can see the performance is always red is higher compared to the blue one. Okay, you can see every quarter with the exception of these. This one may be a bit equal. Okay, with the exception since 2019, as long as you're near a good school within 500 meters, then your rental rates tend to command a premium compared to someone who's living 6, 7, 8, 900 meters away from that particular school. So this basically tells you, based on the data itself, this basically tells you higher rental, okay, premium is because of our good schools. I mean, this just facts. Okay, we can't run away from the data that tells you this, right? So let's look again, low density, what it presents in terms of our district 9, 10, and 11. Low density means your surrounding area likelihood will be covered with quite a fair bit of landed, because landed, you know, right? One big house, but only few occupants inside, isn't it? Compared to nearby a condo, a HDB flat, that's high density, all right? High density means one same plot of land, a lot more people on the same plot of land. That is high density. Low density means big piece of land, but very little people staying there. So do you think in our Bukit Timah area, this one, do you think it's high or low density? By the way, if you are wondering what's all these pink boxes, right? All these pink area, this is under Singapore's map itself. You go to URA, you look at the master plan, they will tell you these are landed enclaves, landed area. Colored, pink color, landed. Okay, so landed is high or low density. Okay, high for H for high, L for low. So type in, landed area is high or low density, my friends who are inside this chat group. L. That's right. Okay. Low density got impact to property price now. Let's see. Okay. In low density area versus high density area. So here, one person, here, a lot of people. Okay. A lot of people here compared. This is talking about density. Same plot of land, but then more people staying in it. So you can see high density area tend to be all your HDB estates. All these definitely are HDB estates. All these are high density area. Okay, low density area is either the land is very big, which is unlikely the case, or it contains quite a fair bit of landed properties. So what's the impact to our prices? More importantly is to you, right? If you go and buy a low density area and it's near a good school, let's see, in terms of the low density area, the performance in terms of rental. Look. Everywhere you compare, it's compared to high density area, you command higher premium. This tells you what? People enjoy and are willing to pay for low density area. Okay, because Singapore is so compact, right? Singapore is so small and so compact. You see people everywhere. So wouldn't it be nice if you are given a choice and you can afford it? You stay in a place that don't have so many people when you go home, right? Correct. So that's generally the idea, okay? Why people have chosen low density to call home or low density area to reside in, okay? That's basically what it means. So now let's look, got exit plan now. Now we look at the start is the entry. We choose developer, we choose in terms of the entry area, right? Okay, then now we also show you how to find, how to hold the property in the meantime, right? So now let's look at our exit plan. We talk about entry, we talk about holding. Now let's talk about our exit plan. Where are my foreign Where are my buyers going to come from? Besides the fact I wait for foreigners, right? We already know for a fact, once the VTL come, the foreigners will return, demand will tend to be higher in the CCR. Okay, the following slides, I will be showing you, okay, the recent land parcels that have been sold, whether it's government, sold by government or sold through en bloc. Basically, these are developers buying land in Singapore and the different prices they are paying in different areas in Singapore. I'll show you 7 examples, okay? I'll very quickly go through where they are sold, what price they are priced at, and then we will then show you, put on the map and show you how it works. Okay, we show you something in District 5. District 5 is our West Coast area, One North area. All right, so it has gone up. The whole idea is it has gone up. This is plot number 1. Okay. Plot number 2, show you in, this is in Sembawang area, okay? This is in Canberra. This project, we are doing it, ERA is doing it. It's called Commodore, it has already gone up in terms of prices, because in District 20, District 26, which is also in the north, located in the north, Ang Mo Kio as well as Lentor, you can see the prices has actually gone up. Initially, it was about 650. Now, people are paying double for it, okay? In terms of the northern part of Singapore. So this, don't worry, I'll show you on the map what all this represent. Maxwell House is another place. Okay, this is in District 2. All right. And the future launch prices. Later, I'll consolidate all these onto a map for you. That's plot number 3. Number 4, this one en bloc. Okay, Flame Park. Okay, this is our Jalan Anak Bukit area, which is near Pasir Panjang. Okay, so again, you see the launch price, 2,000 plus. Later, I'll show you on a map basis where are all these plots of land. Plot number 5, Wharton Estate. Okay, District 11. Again, this one, you see the future launch price. This is the estimated launch price in future. What Thomas is trying to establish is this. The land parcels being sold recently, the prices has gone up quite significantly. This one, Thiam Siew area, okay, which is, I think this is in District 15. Yes, that's right. Okay, in the east part of Singapore. This is plot number 6. Plot number 7. This one not yet. This one is potential, but it has launched for en bloc already. You guys know where is Mount Elizabeth, right? So this is near Mount Elizabeth Hospital and Paragon area. Okay, so this is the estimated cost of the land by the time it is launched for sale in future. If this en bloc is successful, we are looking at $4,000 per square foot. Okay, in the Orchard area, which I think is still relatively cheap compared to our Hong Kong counterparts. Now, what does all this mean? You put all of them together on the map of Singapore. My segment is very quick, very short one, okay, because I want to leave more time for Terence to share you guys the project that he's really passionate about. So you can see all my 7 plots of land, okay, with the exception of this one. This one is potential. Every one of them sold. Okay, so, okay, all 6 plots of land have been sold with the exception of this one not yet. Okay, so if you look, in the outskirts, this is called outskirts. We are looking at prices like this. We are looking at prices around $2,000 per square foot. This is OCR, outskirt, outside central region. We are looking at approximately $2,000 per square foot. Okay, next. Let's look at RCR, the rest of central region, the rest of central region, which is only 1 plot land. We are looking at, okay, so it's relative, right? If the OCR is moving towards 2,000, naturally, this guy will move towards 2004. Okay, then what happens with our expensive area, right? Our Wharton is 1, CCR. Maxwell is also CCR. We are looking at 2005, 2009, approximately $3,000 already. Okay, and if this Orchard area, this Elizabeth Tower, if the en bloc really goes through, the land itself already 2004. By the time they come to market, it's about $4,000 already per square foot. Okay, RCR is another one, below here. So these 2 is RCR. All right, so if you look at all these plots of land, what is Thomas trying to tell you? If you can see these plots of land being sold en bloc or government land sale, and you can actually predict the future prices, because developers need to make money, developers need to pay for land, developers need to pay contractors in between and the construction company in between, right? So add up. That's how we make prediction of how much the property will cost in future, right? by adding up all the costs plus a little bit of profit margin for the developer. That basically will tell you how much the property will likely cost. Okay, so if this area is going to cost this, okay, then if you look at our particular areas like your district 9, 10, and 11, you know that CCR eventually is going to move into 3,000 plus, okay, range already, maybe even to 4,000 plus. Okay, like I said, we are unlikely going to hit $6,000-7,000 like what happened in 2007 with the mark. Okay, but certainly moving towards $3,000 to $4,000 is quite a no-brainer. Okay, when it comes to our CCR project, District 9, District 10, and possibly some parts of District 11. Okay, so that basically tells you, all right, the movement in terms of the prices in future. So all of you guys will be then thinking to yourself, hey, when I buy a luxurious property, okay, what are all my thinking behind all this? How do I make a decision, right? Remember, what's the first thing we need to think about? Entry. Okay, and we think about entry, we think about the developer, whether his track record good or not. Does he know how to build a luxurious property or not? Okay, does he or she know or not? Okay, and then when you enter itself, are you entering at the right timing or not? Okay, is it before the foreigners are here? Okay, before the demand comes, or is it after the demand already? Because if you buy after the demand has already went up, then you buy high prices already. Okay, so you must enter in terms of timing, whether you have the window or opportunity. Number two, we talk about what? Holding, right? Whether the property can find renter or not in the first place, rentability, isn't it? So in the meantime, while you're waiting for capital gain, you don't sell in the next 5 years or so, can you rent out easily or not? Then we spoke about schools, okay, being a driver of demand, right? Yes, and of course, low density area, okay? So you think about it, whether this makes sense to you when you're choosing a luxurious property. What's number three? Anyone want to help me with number three? What is our strategy? EH and what? What is our third step where we do a checklist? We must know, we know how to enter. We know how the property will hold. What must we know? We must also know how to exit what? Okay? And when we exit, we look at future prices. Okay? We look at demand coming in. And this demand ties in with the timing, right? If you guys can time yourself and find a window of opportunity, why not? That's one area you can think about. And you look at the future prices. In OCR, is going to 2,000. In the RCR, is going to 2,005 range. Then that typically tells you when you buy CCR, you likely go into 3,000 plus, 4,000 plus range already. Okay, so you think for yourself, can you exit in future? All right, with something in a similar price range, looking at the future prices. All right, so that wraps up my segment, okay, for talking about luxurious property. I hope it has been beneficial for you. Thank you for paying attention. And that I hope that you guys, with this checklist itself, whichever property you buy, okay, you will be able to do very quick checklist for yourself. And of course, we will always encourage you when you're doing a checklist, don't do it alone. Why don't you do it with our ERA teammate? Because they are pretty much well-versed in all the property matters, isn't it? They probably can highlight to you some of the pitfalls that other customers have gotten into and show you how to avoid them and make even a proper decision on your own in terms of you're making decision for Lux property itself. I hope this segment has been good for you guys, and this will be me signing off and letting Terrence take over. Don't leave yet. This just means segment 1 going off. Segment 2 will be on very shortly. Thank you everyone for your attention.
So what is this Perfect 10 all about? Like what Thomas has mentioned earlier, this is in the heart of District 10, one of the most appreciated land in Singapore, centralized, north, south, east, west, wherever you want to go. It's basically the ideal location to own, and also with all the schools that was shared earlier on. Now, what is so special about Perfect 10? Now we talk about the development first. 24 stories, welcoming twin tower, and what we mean by welcoming, you will see it later on in the facade, and only 230 units of 2-bedroom and 3-bedroom type. Ceiling height is, I would say, it's quite fantastic. We have typical units of 3.225 meters and penthouse going at 4.475. And parking lot wise, as we all know as consumers or even agents today, the authorities have set rules that any development that is within 1 kilometer of any MRT, they are only allowed to build up to 80% of parking lots. But for this development, we managed to secure 230 parking lots, which is a big plus point. We have 5 electronic vehicle lots and 3 accessible lots. And on top of that, in the heart of Bukit Timah, you can't do without concierge service, and this is the way to go. With concierge service, of course, many people would want to think that, you're buying a development in this luxury segment. What kind of maintenance am I going to pay? So if you look at the maintenance fee, you'll be quite surprised that for a 2-bedroom, some of the 2-bedroom units that comes with a common private lift, you only pay $522. And for a 3-bedroom, that is very, very unique. In fact, I would say first in Singapore, the 3-bedroom comes with 2 private lifts. One is a normal private lift, and the other one, we call it an observational lift because it allows you to see the view of the entire Bukit Timah. So with 2 private lifts, and you only pay an amount of $610. So this is something that is very, very unique, something that is special. And like what Thomas said earlier, when you're buying into a luxury development in any countries, the key thing is not just about the building design. You buy where the land is sitting on in the country. In Singapore, Bukit Timah is a well-known place, so you are already buying into a very good plot of land. And the developer plays a very big part because you need experienced developer who has done luxury properties before. With that experience, they're able to deliver the end product to you. Of course, we have heard many a times that a new developer will definitely give you the best product because they need to prove themselves. However, an experienced developer, same thing, they have to prove themselves all over again because they want the next product to be better than the previous product. So it's developed by Japura Development Private Limited, member of CK Asset Group from Hong Kong. I'm sure many of you are very familiar. They also rejuvenated the entire Marina Financial Center. So these are some of the things. The building itself is designed and sculpted by DP Architects and landscaped by Salad Dressing. For those that are familiar with new launches and other developments, you will see that DP Architects has been around for many years and they've designed many wonderful buildings in Singapore. And even for landscaping, Salad Dressing is I would say, the first name that I would think of if I want something that is lush with greeneries. So moving on. As I mentioned earlier, what is so special about this, the welcoming tower? Because like how you welcome your friends when you open up your arms, you open up your palm, the building facade itself actually shows you what exactly it is. And this welcoming is not just being the tallest standing building along Bukit Timah Road, but at the same time, we believe this will welcome good wealth and prosperity to the entire development. The front part, you will see that you have your clubhouse and your pool, everything at the front. This is something that is also very magnificent because the entire stretch of Bukit Timah Road, if you drive past today, you'll find that the developments there are a little bit dated, most of them in the 80s or the 90s, And back then, the design was different. They tend to push the facade in front and have some facilities at the back or at the side. But as time change, our taste for design changes. So you will feel that Perfect 10 is something. Why do we call it perfect? Because it's going to be the newest kid on the block. It's going to be 24 stories, surrounded by 12 stories development. And across the road, we have ACS and all the landed and enclave. So if you're driving along Bukit Timah Road, in fact, a few kilometers away, you will notice this building. Okay. And next. Okay, what is so unique about it? A unique blend of luxury, grandeur, and lifestyle. We often want a mixture of everything. It's just like you buy a property, you want it to be in the best location, you want it to be near MRT, near good school, near shopping belt. So even within the development, you want a mixture of everything. You want grace and you want something unique. You want to buy something and tell your friends that, look, I bought this because of its uniqueness, and people simply agree. So this is one of the key reasons why we buy into things today. It's not just about property, but everything that we own. We want something that not just for us to appreciate, but our friends to appreciate at the same time. So this is a little bit of sketches from the architect. We have the main space concept on the front, the top left. So you have a blend of water features unifying the entire architecture, because water is very soft flowing while architecture is often very stiff. And moreover, we have twin towers that are standing there. So the water complements everything, and we have a very nice driveway, meticulous landscaping that creates that kind of visual uplifting. Imagine coming from work after a hard day's work, okay, coming home from work, and you're just going to go into your development and straight down to the basement. That's not going to work pretty well. But at Perfect 10, when you drive into the driveway, which is about 80 meters from the main road, that sets everything apart. Because taking that drive down with trees around you, surrounding you, it's a very therapeutic thing. So it's a preparation for you to even, before stepping into your own home, to calm your soul down and basically relax. When you park your car, you're ready to go home and greet your family with a smile. We have pool cabana, everything thought for. Of course, Singapore, we live in a concrete jungle, no escape about it. So what does a pool cabana does? It gives you that kind of landscaping again to make you feel that you're in nature. So in this development, the design concept comes with a variation of hardness in terms of building, and we have that soft flowing of a pool, and at the same time, the trees to basically bring you back into nature. At least it tells you you're not in a concrete jungle anymore. And Bukit Timah, when we talk about Bukit Timah, the first thing that comes to our mind is nature, Bukit Timah Nature Reserve and so forth. So what they have created, the landscape artists have created, is to have large greenery surrounding the entire development. So that adds as a reminder that we are not living in a concrete jungle. You're coming home to a place where not exactly a Bukit Timah Nature Reserve, but there are enough greeneries to make you feel that kind of softness in life. And the main view, this is the main view at the bottom center. This is the main view that is something to shout about, because people from along Bukit Timah Road will be able to see you. And on the left-hand side, you have your clubhouse, which if you're hosting your guests and all that, is something very nice because you're facing the road. And at the same time, at night, we host our dinners at night. We hardly host any lunches. So at night, you have that kind of street lights coming to you, which is a wonderful view. A lot of developments today, if you notice, clubhouses are always tucked in somewhere hidden. They probably don't even have glass. They're four walls. So moving forward, concepts and design change according to buyers' needs and wants. And the important thing is what we're looking here is not a need, because if we simply go for a need, then four walls sheltered can be a clubhouse. This is a want. Just like on the right-hand side, you have your gym. A lot of people pay expensive membership fees to go to a gym because they feel motivated looking at the people there, and they're also there to be seen. Now, I told my client the other day that, you know what's so great about Perfect 10? Cut your membership, buy Perfect 10, go to a gym there because you are fronting Bukit Timah Road. The whole world is there watching you. It is the place to be seen. Good workout and good viewership. And lastly, we have this lily pond. Now, therapeutic is something that we all need. You know, we live in a concrete jungle. We need something softer. And we take a stroll in a park, botanical gardens and all that on weekends. Why? That is to refresh ourselves, enlighten our soul. Now, imagine you're getting all these things within the development. Isn't that wonderful? Rather than you have to travel 20 minutes or even 10 minutes. Now, everything can be found in your development. So with a busy schedule, with some of us working from home and all that, you need to catch a breather sometime. And with this development, basically, there are lots of spaces for you to catch your breather. Now, what we call undisturbed view. Buying into any tall developments, if you're buying smack in Orchard Road, of course, you have wonderful view, you have wonderful shopping belt. But when you look out of your unit, you are admiring another fantastic architectural artwork, which is another building, your neighbor's tower. But at Perfect 10, you have almost 180-degree unblocked view. And you are basically fronting Bukit Timah, seeing greeneries. I think in today's needs and wants, a lot of people want to get away from the busy life. They want to come home to a place where I can enjoy nature. So Perfect 10 is one of the few developments that offers that kind of serenity. Well, the first thing is also the entranceway. We talk about a grand driveway of 80 meters where that's a wonderful setback from the main road. And next at the arrival hall, you have a very good setback, but the next thing you want is your guests to feel that kind of majestic feel that comes into a very grand lobby, which they have not forgotten. Like I mentioned before, this developer is very experienced in doing luxury homes, and they know exactly what people will appreciate. And therefore, they have created something in Singapore with a touch of what they have done in the luxe category in Hong Kong. This is artist impression at night. So with the kind of symmetrical design that they have created, you will feel that the building itself sitting on a piece of land, everything is very, very well balanced. Of course, today you drive past there today, it's only our show flat, but this is exactly what you'll be seeing 3 or 4 years down the road. Okay, now the setback, the way they have angled the towers, they could have done it totally flat horizontally, but it doesn't give a sense of flow in the design as well as the residents that are living in it. When you tilt an angle a little bit, it gives you a different perspective and a different view altogether. So what the architects and developers have done is something that when they bought the land, they studied really well. They look at, today with technologies, you fly drones up to see exactly what kind of views you get. And these are the things that developers put in, the efforts they put in to deliver something to the residents there. Reason being, I'm not just creating another property along Bukit Timah. I am creating an icon in Bukit Timah for my purchasers to enjoy. Now, choice of materials. I know many of you will say that, what kind of choice of materials can we have in a development aside from concrete and so forth? Well, with the popularity of glass, which we normally find in business district like Shenton Way, commercial buildings, offices, introduction of glass to residential development has picked up in recent years, but not just glass alone, because you don't want to come home and say that, look, my home look like my office, and that's why I'm buying. That's not the main reason. So a choice of materials, meaning to say that you blend glass, a good blend of glass, aluminum, mesh, plants, water. You have man-made materials and nature all coming together and functioning as one. That is the key thing that makes a development different and special. So if you look at all their materials being used and the way the building turned out, it gives you a sense of balance. It gives you a sense of unity to unite different materials, hard, soft, live, and dead. In terms of concrete and all that, it's very, very difficult. But they have managed to pull this out fantastically. So this is what you will see along Bukit Timah Road when you drive past. Cascaden waterfalls, landscaping, a very nice pool, clubhouse, and a gym. So this is the first thing that welcome any guest into your home. Now, in terms of facilities, I'm not going to go through every one of them. There are 41 so-called facilities. And these are something for each and every one of you to enjoy. Of course, during this pandemic period, opening up, we have already opened up. I think pandemic is going to be something of the past. So moving forward, everything has been built with COVID in mind. We need more space. We need more areas for us, for people to chill. Remember the old developments, we often have a big clubhouse in the center where everybody will gather together and all that. But with COVID, people are slightly more sensitive. I want to gather in smaller groups, maybe 2 or 5. So if you look at the site plan itself, you'll find that there are a lot of areas, not just at the front of the development, but it's surrounding the entire development. So this gives you the opportunity to chill when you need to and away from the crowd. So not everyone is gathering at the same place at the same time. And it's not just the ground floor that we have our facility, the top floor, but I don't want west sun. The irony is when you're at the top floor, you are at the top. Nobody is going to block you from the sun. So with a roof garden in mind, you can buy the penthouses and you don't have to worry about this direct heat into your apartment or the roof because you already have a roof garden that shields your unit from the sun. And this is a wonderful place. Anywhere that is unblocked gives you that kind of view, and it's going to be a very nice place to chill, windy. So if you don't like the air condition, this is the best place to go. This is the top view of the roof terrace. You'll see that the pool is in the center of the Twin Tower. So not a huge pool for you to do your Olympic training and all that, but it's more of a relaxation place. You can dine upstairs, enjoy your wine or coffee after dinner in the roof garden. So these are a little bit of relaxation area within the development. Okay, these are the artist's impression. You can zoom in. If you're on the phone, you can literally just zoom in and see the images, what this development will look like. You know, a lot of developments, if you look at it today, day and night, they look the same. But with the choice of materials and articulation of the glass and angles, Perfect 10 will portray itself in a different look at different times of the day because of the different lightings. So this is something also magical about it. You don't want to come back to a home that is boring because every day it looks the same. You want to come back on a sunny day, you look at something very majestic because of the gold treatment on the building facade. But at the same time, during the evenings, it may turn into rose gold, darker along the way. So these are things that you're buying something that is not fixed. You're buying something that is ever changing your views, ever changing your site. And even with the lobby, a very grand lobby. So these are the little things that has been thought of, carefully thought of, put into perspective, drawn out on the drawing board by Mr. Victor Lee himself. So am I impressed with the development? When I first saw this development and they told me that Mr. Victor Lee actually drew on the drawing board. And I'm thinking, if I'm sitting on $30 billion, I will just engage somebody to do the drawing. Why would I bother to even do it myself? So that is the kind of commitment from a developer, a person that is passionate about what they create. And therefore, they are willing to spend that kind of time, effort to design everything from scratch together with the professionals and say that, can this be done? Yes, this can be done in Singapore. And therefore, they deliver this. So Thomas shared a little bit about the areas, same thing, those areas in pink that you see here, these are all the landed enclaves. So where we are seated is this little blue dot. So from the front, you basically have almost, I would say, 180-degree of unblocked view. And the span is magnificent because they are all landed properties and low density and low rise buildings along the way. So you can look as far as 5-10 kilometers away. So these are things that to take note of. You're not just buying into another high-rise development, but a high-rise development that gives you something that others don't. Yes, so this is where we are seated, right in the center. If you look at it, you will realize that what I mentioned earlier, why are we going to stand out along Bukit Timah? Because the rest of the buildings are monotone. We will definitely stand out. And what is the upside of that? When I invite my friends along to my place, they can't find, I just tell them, look at the tallest building along that road, that gold building. It's not going to escape the eye because the rest are just too dated. Next, we will look at from the top view, how far can I see? Of course, a lot of buyers, a lot of owners will want to know. When you tell me unblocked view, how far can I see? And my question is often, how far do you want to see? If you look at it, they have this little so-called icon, like the Tanglin Club, Orchard MRT Station, the American Club. It's all pointed there. But without binoculars, a view is a view. You get to enjoy the view and not scrutinize the view and say that, look, I want to see icon exactly where is it, and so forth, because that will become a very taxing thing to do. Okay, the schools, you're able to see the schools from your unit, as far as even Mount Elizabeth Hospital, Future Health City at Novena. So these are things that when we said unblocked, is almost literally unblocked. If any one of you tell me that this view is so-called a pocket view, then, well, your expectations are really, really high. So on the left, you get to see Singapore Chinese Girls' School, St. Joseph Institution. So this is more than a span of 5 kilometers or even 10 kilometers. This is almost, I would say, an infinity view because you actually see the horizon, the green horizon. You're literally unblocked. Now, we move on to the unit because ultimately, you're not just buying the building. You're not going to stay outside the building. You're going to stay within the unit. So let's move to a 3-bedroom unit that we mentioned earlier. Now, the special thing or the unique thing about the 3-bedroom is that how often do you find a 3-bedroom with private lifts? That is quite often. How often do you find a 3-bedroom with 2 private lifts? It is not often, or rather this is the first. So the lift shaft at the bottom, you see that right at the bottom, this strip, this is a glass panel. So whichever level that you're staying, on your way up to your unit, you still get to enjoy views. You're not just standing 4 walls inside a lift. For those that are a little bit claustrophobic, I think this development is the most ideal for you because you can look out and see everything. And you have a secondary private lift. So you have 2 lifts to serve 1 household. And the beauty of it, you're not paying for these lifts. They are private lifts, but they're not in your area. So what you're paying for, of course, your own private lift lobby. This one cannot take away because when the lift, you enters out the lift, this is your lobby. Probably your place to put your shoe cabinets and all that. Now we move on to a dining and the living area. In recent times, as we know, land is a scarcity item in Singapore and increasing in price, therefore developments have to be smaller and smaller. But I think we have a wonderful size. It's about 1,300 square feet for 3-bedroom. Not easy to come by. And many will say that, well, there are a lot of 1,300 square feet out there. But the trick to giving you the efficient layout and the usable space is, if you look at this entire layout, you hardly find a long corridor, or what I would call a bowling alley. So without that corridor, you have a good sized kitchen, which has 4 panels of glass. So you can have it an open concept kitchen, or you want to have so-called a closed door kitchen. The choice is yours. And with the utility room at the back, that doubles up as a helper's room. If you look at the utility area, you're still able to fit a single bed in there. And then, of course, you have another entrance, because all private lift unit in Singapore, the safety guideline is you must have another entrance to go into the common lift lobby. So you look at the living, dining. Dining today, 6-seater is a very comfortable size. Even when we host dinners or lunches and in a house and all that, 6-seater or even an 8-seater is enough to accommodate everybody. Living room, very good size. Bedroom, the common bedrooms are, I would say, common sizes. Okay, 9 square meters, 10 square meters. That is what most developments are offering, or rather, that is by today's standard, a very good size, because you still can fit a queen size very comfortably, a king size as well. Now, the master bedroom, if you take note, compared to any developments, any new launches that you have seen or about to go and see, this is by far one of the largest master bedroom that I have seen. So looking at floor plans don't give you that sense of space. That is why you have to make an appointment with any of our ERA agents, come down to a show flat, have a feel for yourself. Everything that is shown on screen today is basically 2-dimensional. And it's not going to be convincing enough for you to say that, yes, I think this product is wonderful. I'm sharing this experience because we have been into the show flat and we have seen the real McCoy. So take some time off somewhere next week and bring your spouse along, your family along to see this wonderful development. Okay, the private lift that I mentioned earlier, the observational lift. This is something that how it will look like. You step into the lift, basically press whatever floor you need to go up to and enjoy the view as you go up into your unit. So this is something very special. Again, special in today's context, because in the 80s and the 70s, bubble lift were created. But that kind of faded off in terms of design and all that. Now it's back. And of course, you want to know, buying a unit here, aside from the wonderful facade, wonderful facilities, great layout, what else am I going to be pampered with? Now, all these brands needs no introduction. Everything is well thought of. You have his and her for the master bath area. Of course, we have gas hob and as well as induction. So that gives you the versatility of your choice of cooking. A wine cellar. Not many of you drink, but it's always a nice thing to have. And this is well thought of, not just a wine cellar, but a coffee maker. I'm sure 90% of us drink coffee at home. And a steam oven. Of course, when it comes to your laundry, you have your washer and your dryer. So all this comes as a standard provision. You basically fit on the lightings, put on the curtains, buy your furnishings and drag your luggages in. That is what buying a new launch in a luxe segment is all about. Then we move on to 2-bedroom. 2-bedroom is, some would say, well, most 2-bedroom in the market today, they're about 600 square feet. But at Perfect 10, we offer something that's about 786 square feet. And if you look at the layout itself, again, there are no long corridors, meaning to say you get to enjoy a little bit of space enhancement in every area, in your dining, in your kitchen, in your bedroom. So forget about the corridors. Let's put it to good use. And this is something unique because there are no 2 bedrooms along Bukit Timah that offers you so-called this private lift concept. But over here, we have this lift which is a common lift, but at the same time, it is a private lift. You can see that the lift has 2 doors. Let me mouse over. This is one of the doors, and one of the doors is over here. So what happened is that you, as a resident there, as an owner, you have your card, you tap the lift, you go up to your unit, you enter directly into your unit. But when your guests arrive, obviously they don't have your house card. So what they have to do is they will go out from the common entrance and enter again. So this concept is letting, again, the owner enjoy. Basically, this whole development, the thoughts are about, when you buy our development, they want you to experience something firsthand. They want you to enjoy the finer things in life. And if you work so hard, it's time to pamper yourself, to buy something, not just for aesthetic purpose, but functionality, and something that truly pampers you. Like everything that we buy, be it a pen, be it clothing, cars, and all that. Why do people want to buy into it? Because they have worked so hard. And the only justification is to buy something to pamper myself, and I tell myself, well, I deserve this. But for a home, it's slightly different. I work so hard for my family, for myself. I need to buy something as asset preservation. And asset preservation only comes when you buy into a very good piece of land. Unfortunately, you're not buying the entire land of 321 Bukit Timah Road, which is perfect 10, but you're buying a piece of the land because your unit sits on this land. And we all know in Singapore, with land scarcity, land will be like wine. They appreciate with time. Of course, the building eventually will deteriorate after 20 years, 30 years. However, this is the first, I would say, a brand new development, 24 stories coming up in this stretch of perhaps 5 kilometers of road. That gives you an upside of your neighbors are all old buildings, meaning to say they are en bloc ready. So what gives you that kind of upside? You are basically the first mover, and the first mover often has its advantages because you're buying at so-called a more attractive price. Aside from all this, you probably wonder, I buy Perfect 10, we retouch base on the building facade, which is fantastic, welcoming, the way they've done it, design. Next thing is your unit layouts, the things that are being offered. 2 private lifts for 3-bedroom, private common lift for 2-bedroom. And finally, what is the magical touch that makes this entire development speaks for itself? Developer has looked into the entire design and found that the most suitable candidate to complete this project is a beautiful kitchen tabletop by Zaha Hadid, the late Zaha Hadid, which many will call her the Queen of Curves. So this table will be at the so-called the clubhouse for everyone to enjoy, every resident to enjoy, for owners like yourself to tell your friends and relatives that, look, I have a $500,000 countertop sitting in my clubhouse just for us to enjoy. Not many developers will go this extra mile to do this. By Perfect 10, Japura Development has done it. So if you're looking at, interested in this development and wanting to take a peek at it, throw in a check for a chance to own a unit here, please take a screenshot of this slide now, because this is our show flat viewing from the 8th to 18th of December. Viewing times will be starting from 9 a.m. And our main booking will be on 19th of December. So in the meantime, you can contact any of our ERA salesperson or the agents that actually ask you to attend this consumer seminar. Yes. So hopefully you all have enjoyed what we have shared so far. And take note of the booking date. You still
Bukit Timah is one of Singapore's most prestigious and coveted neighborhood. It is the gem of District 10, home to many ultra-luxury condos and good-class bungalows. Hidden amidst the Bukit Timah rich greenery are some of the first and finest black and white heritage houses at Goodwood Hills and UNESCO World Heritage Botanic Gardens, preserved with a purpose and exceptional value to the area. Perfect 10 sits on a vantage freehold location that is bestowed with an unobstructed view of the Bukit Timah Nature Reserve. Lush greenery, exclusive privacy, and spectacular views. Surrounded by the posh and affluent neighborhoods with more than 10 esteemed schools in Singapore. ACS and SCGS within 1 kilometer from Perfect 10 is known to have produced many notable alumni, including some of the world-famous athletes, Joseph Schooling, singers, and politicians. Within 5 minutes drive from the world-famous street, Orchard Road, Shangri-La Hotel, United States Embassy, private clubs, and first-class medical centers. Perfect 10 is a perfect home legacy that owners can pass from generations to generations. An ultimate luxury home in its finest form. With 100-meter generous setback from Bukit Timah Road, Perfect 10 is the latest iconic 24-story twin towers that is uniquely rare. It is designed to maximize the sweeping views for the units, tilted at an angle to achieve a unique character for the towers. The Twin Towers pose as a pair of open doors, creating a prestigious status and landmark for the area. It has a signature appearance and is specially designed with an epitome of luxury, where residents can pamper themselves upon arrival. Residents are first welcomed and greeted by the 100-meter long and tall boulevard of trees and meticulous landscaping, creating a visually impressive arrival. The 10-meter height stunning rose gold grand drop-off, adorned in meticulous details of glass, mesh, stone, and water features, evolves residents into a new level of luxury arrival experience. Coming home to Perfect 10 is coming home to grandeur. Perfect 10 is a perfect home legacy with value that no one can claim. With its long history of property development expertise, CK Asset Holdings has built many notable landmark buildings in Hong Kong, China, United Kingdom, and Singapore. CK Property Holdings is one of the largest developers in Hong Kong, with market value of 298 billion Hong Kong dollars as at 28 February 2021. In February 2021, a 3,378 square foot penthouse unit in CK Asset Holdings 21 Borat Road luxury residential project in Hong Kong was sold at record-breaking price in Asia at 136,000 Hong Kong dollars PSF, or 459 million Hong Kong dollars. CK Asset's track record, strong expertise, reputation, and financial strength has contributed significantly to the cityscape of Hong Kong and Singapore. Several joint venture and luxury residential properties in Singapore that represent the excellence of CK Asset Holdings include Marina Bay Financial Center, Marina Bay Residences, Marina Bay Suites, Karen Hill Crest, The Vision, Thompson Grand, and Stars of Coven. Invest in CK Asset Holdings Perfect 10. The next iconic masterpiece shall soon be in your possession.